We are live. There we go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you all very much for popping in here. Anybody that's coming in at this time, thanks so much to take time out of your day. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, we appreciate you. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. What's going on, Jake? How are you?
I'm good. Let's go get another W. We'll make
Facts.
2 in a row. Let's continue the streak. Let's do this.
We need it. We need it badly. But beyond, the streak, there's a lot of good insight tonight because we got Dennis Schroeder, Thomas Bryant coming back, which
Yes,
we should
sir.
touch on, and then we got obviously LeBron is supposed to be back, and this will be an interesting stretch because depending on how this goes, could dictate what we do. Are we going to do a trade? Are we going to because which I think is a good point of topic to start on, and then we could jump into we'll lead into the game. But I think Dennis Schroeder and Thomas Bryant coming in, I think really it allows us to evaluate what our needs really are, right?
Yeah.
So so many people want Buddy Hield, Miles Turner deal, right? Well,
Correct.
if you get say say Thomas Bryant is great for us, right? He's like really thriving, and he's kind of like a Miles Turner light, which his numbers aren't that far off. Like the numbers really aren't that different. The only difference is like the shot blocking. Obviously, Miles Turner is more elite at that, and I think Miles Turner is a bigger impact player.
Yeah.
I think he's an impact player, but if we can get a guy like Thomas Bryant to come in and just give us a solid contribution, then I don't think we need I don't think our answers are a center and a shooting guard. Like I think our answer is hopefully Thomas Bryant is great and and what we need from the center position beyond Anthony Davis, and now we can go get 2 or 3 guys that can round out the perimeter. If we could get Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson, and then maybe have a 21 million trade exception. Maybe we could use that trade exception to go get Buddy Hield. And now because why go make a trade for something that might not be a need? Obviously, if you're going to make a trade, you want to make a trade to fill a hole that the team has. I don't think the center position is the hole the team has, especially with Anthony Davis playing center. He's better utilized at center. I know he doesn't like playing center, but that's where he's best. That's where he's most a mismatch at. And so I think Thomas Bryant coming in, giving us solid minutes, whether it's off the bench or whether it's starting, I think is huge. And then Dennis Schroeder, if he comes in and he plays great, then that makes Russ easier to trade. That makes Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn easier to trade, right?
Yeah.
Because I think Schroeder could basically be what we were hoping from Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley combined, right? Like
Hopefully.
like we were hoping, Patrick Beverley could be a 3-and-D style player. He's the D without anything else. And then Kendrick Nunn has just been non-existent. He's been a non-factor. He shouldn't play.
Yeah.
But if Schroeder could come in, provide that scoring and that defense, well, then that makes those two immediately expendable. And so, and then Russ, now you could look to move Russ because you have Schroeder to come in and play the Russ role if you need him to. I think Russ is obviously the better player. Schroeder provides a lot of the same thing, and you could go fill in other needs that you have. And I think also,
do you think he can produce as much as Russ though? Right now,
I mean,
I think he can, but do you think he will? Because Russ is actually playing at a decent level right now.
Yeah, but I think
because I don't see that happening this season. Not with Schroeder, anyway.
I think he can because we don't need necessarily if Schroeder comes in. Let's say Schroeder averages, 12, 5, and 5, right?
Okay,
that's not like Russ is averaging 16, 6, and 7. Right.
16,
so yes, Russ is averaging more than what Schroeder's averaging, but now you can use Russ to go trade for say 2 or 3 pieces that are now. So you're getting
Agreed.
Yeah,
It allows you to do more because,
and you get more
like you said, if
depth,
you
you
go
get more
get Buddy Hield right
bodies.
now, you're gonna,
Yeah,
it messes up the fluidity of things because if you, like you said, if you let these two come in, be what they need to be, um, you can still use Russ to go get other pieces.
yeah,
And I don't think we should use Russ to go get Buddy Hield. But like you said,
yeah.
we can maybe get Buddy Hield later on. I would rather get a deeper team right now than just going and get Buddy Hield and Turner. You know what I mean?
I just think we have bigger needs than just than just Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Like I don't think I don't look at this roster and go, you know what the one thing we're missing is a center. Right?
Yeah,
Like Anthony Davis is playing center and he's fine. Like our problem is like the perimeter defense. Like
he does need
and
help though. He does need help.
oh, he does. But here's the thing, like I've pointed this out before is that okay, like you have let's say our starting five is Walker, uh, Buddy Hield, LeBron, Davis, Miles Turner. On paper,
That's a bigger lineup too.
yeah, on paper, that's one of the best starting fives in the league. Like seriously, like
Looks like
you
it.
can make an argument. I mean, you got everything, right? You got size, you got shooting, you got playmaking, you got score, you got everything.
Yeah.
Here's where the problem is though, is you have no perimeter defenders outside of Lonnie Walker and LeBron James. You are now putting
I'm glad we're
so
not
much.
putting AD in this conversation because a lot of people put AD in like the perimeter defending conversation. I don't understand it. I need help like figuring that out. He's not a perimeter defender in my
He's
opinion.
not.
From what
He's
from
not.
what
I
I've
mean,
seen,
can
and I'm
stay in
strictly basing
front.
it off this season, not necessarily. He has been in the past, but like in the
He's never
past,
been a perimeter defender. So like he's always
well, he's
been.
been decent at it.
He's a
Just
guy
in
that can
spots.
stay in front. Like so, if he gets switched onto a smaller player,
Yeah,
yes, he can stay in front of that smaller player. He is agile enough and skilled enough to follow that player and play perimeter. He can play perimeter defense. But there's a
yeah.
difference between having to switch and play on the perimeter and having to guard the perimeter 38 minutes a game. That's not
Well, yeah,
like
because
Davis
you're
can't do that.
No, yeah, and you're talking about dealing, because if you're on the perimeter, you're gonna have to deal with some guards that are gonna be more elite and agile, and you have to, like you said, you have to be able to stick with them and not let them blow by you. Step back threes. I get it. AD has the reach for it. You know what I mean? But he's not a perimeter defender. Like
Yeah.
I hate that narrative.
Yeah.
But
Well, and
the
now
only
you're putting
true perimeter defenders I feel like we have right now are Russ and LeBron and Walker. But that's from what I've seen this season.
what
And I don't
but
know.
the
Go ahead.
problem is now here's the thing though is you're also putting so much pressure on LeBron James, right? Like it's easier for LeBron to guard fours, right? Because fours are usually
Yeah.
slower. They spread the floor. Like there's very few fours in this league that are like creating off the dribble and just like, shitting on guys. Like it just doesn't really happen. But
Yeah, AD
now
used to be
LeBron,
one of them.
yeah, but now LeBron has to guard the three spot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of threes that can dribble and create. So you're just putting so much pressure on LeBron James to play defense because Buddy Hield can't play defense.
Yeah.
And Walker's going to guard the best player every night like he is right now, which is fine. But, like, for example, let's say we play the Warriors.
Do we
Who's
want Walker guarding the best player every night?
I
Like,
mean,
or do we
he's our
want?
best option right now. And if you get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, that's your only choices. That's your only choice. You don't have another choice.
Yeah. I mean, okay, young and premature, but I feel like we could give Max Christie a try. Just
Yeah, but you can't rely on him, especially come playoff. Like he's great defensively, but you're relying on a rookie. Like I said, Max Christie might be our best on-ball defender,
But
but
that's what I'm saying. It's
he's
okay. I get
a
it. He's undeveloped and
19-year-old
he's a
kid.
rookie. No.
Yeah,
I get it. And I'm not saying like game 7 of the finals, hey, bring Christie in. No, but like I think now we need to start getting him the starting time and playing time because if we don't, I feel like in those crucial moments when we need him, it's not going to be there because he hasn't had time to hone his skills. Like, could you imagine if you like let him start? He's only going to get better. Like,
yeah.
just let him start for. I'm not saying let him
They've
start for the
been
duration of the season, but like, just for a few games. Let him start for a few games, let him get his feet wet a little bit. And I
they've been
know he's
getting
not an
him.
offensive player, but
They've been getting him solid minutes, which helps, which is nice. Like they've really been helping in that regard, which is good. But like the thing is that like we need again, like you're putting all your eggs in one basket if
yeah,
you do a Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Like again, we have no no perimeter defense in our starting lineup, because now you're putting all the pressure on LeBron James to be an elite defender at age 38, night in and night out. Because, yes, would we be better on the offensive end? Sure. We definitely be a mismatch night in and night out. But we're already struggling to guard the perimeter. It's only going to get worse if Buddy Hield and Miles Turner are in your starting lineup. Like, I think we need wing defenders over like another center. I just think, and here's the thing too, is that to be fair, the Lakers couldn't really make a trade until Schroeder comes back. Because the problem is that Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn are playing so terribly that if you would have traded Russ and they continue to play this way, you're screwed. You have Lakers might not have a game one right now because you have no guard play. You're guarding, you're counting on Austin Reeves to be your point guard now, or Walker to be your point guard. LeBron could play point guard, but he can't play point guard 48 minutes a game. And that becomes a problem. At least Russ,
we can't.
Russ,
we can't get none in there. So
well, that's what I'm saying. They've been playing so poorly, so we need Schroeder to be good on the offensive end and the defensive end, because now everybody else becomes expendable. Everyone else becomes a way to kind of to make or improve our team and make our team better. And I think
you're saying in terms of a trade, because we can get rid of the non-pieces.
Yeah, because if Schroeder's great, now you don't if Schroeder is playing defense and scoring, then he's basically everything we wanted from Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley. So why do you need Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley anymore? You don't.
No, I agree. You really don't.
So you end up. So now you can trade those two, and then now you are in a better position, and now you could go and get some wing depth or some wing players or something along those lines. I think that could really help. But I think regardless, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Also, I made a video about it on my channel about an hour ago, but Miles Bridges from the Charlotte Hornets, the Lakers are interested in him. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to get him. But he would be a perfect compliment because he's a restricted free agent, and I don't think Charlotte's going to let him go. The only reason he's not signed is because the whole, domestic thing that he did, and that whole thing, and he pled no contest, but usually what that means is he paid a bunch of money to have it go away, is what ended up happening.
So now when they're a restricted free agent, they can only go where the team so Charlotte in this case has to sign off on him going to obviously, but they have to
essentially. So what happens is so Charlotte can match any salary that a team. So say the Lakers offered him they don't have the salary space, but let's say the Lakers offered him $20 million a year. Charlotte could just go and match that, and then they get him. So, for example, what happened with DeAndre Ayton, right? The Pacers made him an offer. The Suns came in and just matched the offer. So, so the only way you'd be able to make that happen is via trade. And
not at that point, but even if they match the offer, does he still have the right to say, "Hey, mean, okay, got it."
Charlotte.
So as long as they match salaries,
Charlotte still has all of their rights. So all of his rights. So, So basically, the only way it could happen is if the Lakers are able to trade for him. So ideally, what would happen is the Lakers would trade, trade Russ, and probably you'd have to give up both firsts, but Russ and both firsts for Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and Miles Bridges. The reason why
I like that better than the Pacers.
that. Well, and the reason Charlotte might do it is because they get off $150 million. So, your whole argument, because the problem is also if let's say Charlotte made Bridges available. There are teams that would trade for him, and the Lakers aren't going to be able to compete in a bidding war. We just don't have enough assets. So, what is our one advantage? Our only advantage is we have the only player in the league that could clear your entire salary books. So, let's say a team is willing to offer, let's say a team's willing to give 3 first-round picks for
Yeah.
Bridges, right? Well, our offer is, hey, yes, you could take 3 firsts from this team.
Yeah.
Like let's say the Pacers, right? Let's say the Pacers like we'll give you 3 first-round picks for Miles
Okay.
Bridges, right? Yes, you could do that, or you could take our deal, which is 2 firsts, and you're moving off of 150 million, which you still have to move off of sooner or later,
Yeah.
right? So that's where our edge would be as far as like a trade with the Hornets would go.
Now you're talking about move off the 150 with Russ, right? Because after they trade Russ, they can just
So what would happen is Russ would go to the Hornets, and then Bridges, and then we would get Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and Terry Rozier has 4 years, like 100 million, and Gordon Hayward has like about like I think it's just under 25 million a year for the next like 2 years. She's talking about 150 million over the next like 4 years total. So we would be clearing that off for them. And the reason we do it is because we get a 24-year-old, 3-and-D style player that averaged 20 points and 9 rebounds as like the second or third option. So now he comes in, he'd be a perfect fit next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So there you go, you got that. And you'd also get Terry Rozier. So like you could literally start all 3 of those guys. Like you could have a starting 5 of Terry Rozier at point guard, Gordon Hayward at shooting guard, Miles Bridges at small forward or power forward, whatever, and then LeBron at small forward or power forward, and then you have Anthony Davis at center.
You want to see Walker come off the bench for, I guess, Bridges, right?
Sorry, Hannah, give me a second. Did I not? I don't have Hannah. I need to.
The banner.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Okay. No. So pretty much, we would need. So we have to bench Walker, which I don't know that I want to do just because he's playing so well. I love the trade. I love that. I love I love that because I think our defense would improve. Our perimeter defending would improve. Our shooting would improve. It's a better trade all around versus Indiana. So I don't have an issue with that. My only issue is I think Walker should be starting though. As much as you're right, you could start those 3 guys, but I think Walker has at this point he's almost embedded himself in a starting lineup. Like who are you gonna put who are you gonna put in front of Walker that's doing what I mean, obviously there's some players, but that we could get right now that could outproduce Walker at the you know what I mean?
I'd personally bring Gordon Hayward off the bench because I think he would be huge off the bench. Not just that, but he wouldn't have to have as big of a role. Because my concern.
Sorry, I think I said Bridges. Sorry, Hayward. Sorry, no, position swap. Sorry, there.
Yeah.
I do think Walker could play the 2 or 3 though. So I mean,
So I would probably do a starting 5, ideally, of Rozier, Walker, Bridges, LeBron, and Davis. Would probably be my starting 5. Because if you bring Hayward off the bench, he does a couple things. One, it gives you that guy that you could run your offense through off the bench. It gives you a guy that does everything, but also it takes a lot of pressure off of him, and he doesn't have to play as many minutes, which is the problem. Also, my biggest concern with the Hornets deal is if we had to take on Hayward. Like I think Hayward might be one of the best fits in the entire league next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He just can't stay healthy, which is the problem. And
Gordon Hayward's a beast. Don't
but he can't stay healthy. And as long as and that's my concern. But if you get Bridges, now you have a player that if he does get hurt and misses like a bunch of games, or say he misses the whole season, it's not as big of a blow because you have Bridges to cover that. And then you get your scorer in Terry Rozier. So ideally, I would love to go and try to work something out to where you get Bridges, and the one incentive you'd have is, or the one incentive the Charlotte would have is that they get to clear all of their salary. So basically, they would have like no, they would have like LaMelo Ball and PJ Washington on their salary, and like that's it. So like
Well,
that's
yeah,
a
and
huge
even
benefit.
if you don't get Victor, which I don't know if they're going to get Victor, but even if you don't get Victor, you still have that, what do you say, 150 million to go
Yeah, you
ahead
have
and
salary
then
cap.
put strong pieces around those two, because you got like just those two alone, you already that's a good starting to build off of,
Even if they don't get Victor,
PJ,
there's still,
LaMelo.
well, one, you're also embracing the tank because they're terrible. They're like 4-13 or something like that. So you're
Yeah.
embracing the tank. Um,
Which the
and
Warriors, I just like to
and
point out, they're not too far behind that. They're like 6-12,
yeah,
I
but
think. I
I
think
mean
it's
the
six
Warriors are
and.
going to win more games than the Hornets.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
The the only thing is that like with the Hornets being so bad,
Yeah,
like you're basically taking all of their you're taking away all of their good players, and you're saying okay, like no tank. Even if you don't get, you're going to get probably a top three pick. So
yeah,
you get one of the Thompson twins. You get you could end up getting Scoot Henderson, something like that. And regardless, you're going to get like another like franchise piece to add to Lamelo Ball and PJ Washington, and and you cleared all your salary space. So like now you can go and start getting young pieces to put around those guys.
yeah,
Like say they do get Victor Wembanyama, right? Now, what you could do is if you're Charlotte, you could go and like, because now you have LaMelo Ball, you have PJ Washington, Victor Wembanyama. Now you
yeah,
could go and get like, say, like Gary Trent Jr. in the
yeah,
offseason and give him the money. And he's still like 23, 24 years old. So you get a young 3-and-D shooting guard that could
yeah,
come in and be and put it would fit right next to everybody beautifully because he could play on the ball or off the ball, and then go get like maybe like a veteran wing type player. Maybe
yeah,
go get somebody that could guard the perimeter. Like that could be really solid. And now you have like a legit starting five that's young enough to grow together that might be a dynasty the next in 3 years.
yeah.
Like
Well, I mean, can,
that's
can I be
that's
honest?
yeah.
I feel like you put any superstar next to Lamelo with a decent bench and deep, to where they can be deep enough, they're probably going to be a like conference finals contender.
They're gonna
Like
be in the
that's
conversation.
well, yeah, 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 no doubt. Like you put like a super, but it has to be a superstar. I'm talking like a KD, Giannis,
Yeah, I don't think
yeah. I don't think
I
you could put
just
like a Kyrie next to Lamelo and also they win a championship, but like it would have to be like a Giannis or put like I said, put like a super like an actual all-star superstar champion next to him, and I think they have a legit chance of like making a title run that year.
yeah, I
But again,
like
this is also with a decent bench, like I said, decent supporting
yeah.
cast. Yeah,
I don't think personally, I don't think LaMelo's the best player on a championship team. I
no,
don't.
no,
We
no, no,
talked
no.
about
He,
we talked
he's
about
not.
this before. Um,
Yeah,
but I
I
do
agree
agree.
with you. He's
I
not.
do agree that like if you get the right like you get the right like one or two pieces, like I think you can contend. Like LaMelo's good enough to where he can make the right impact. The problem is, can he stay healthy? Right? Because like the ball family, man, they cannot stay healthy with Lonzo and
Yeah,
now LaMelo. Um, but if they can stay healthy, then I think you have a legit shot. But I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Again, like I said in the beginning of all this, I don't personally, if I'm being honest, I don't think they're going to get Bridges. Um, but it'd be nice. But what you might be able to get, you might be able to get PJ Washington. Problem is, I wouldn't give up both first for PJ Washington. I'd give up both first for Bridges, but I wouldn't do it for PJ Washington because just Bridges is just the better player, still has more
wait,
potential.
just Bridges or like Bridges in a
No,
package?
I'm saying like for like say the deal was
Oh, okay, okay,
Rozier,
okay, okay, I
Hayward,
gotcha.
and Bridges. I wouldn't give up. I
Okay,
would
I
give
was
up
gonna say,
both first.
whoa,
I would give up
yeah,
both first for that, just because you're getting
yeah,
Bridges, who again he's 24 years old. He's already a 20-10 guy basically, and
yeah,
he's only going to get better. He hasn't even reached his prime, and he's just bigger, stronger, more athletic, faster, everything. So I think Bridges could be like a real piece for your future,
yeah,
and then um and then having but PJ Washington, I think he's good, but he's like your fourth. Like I think Bridges could be your like second or third guy on a contending team. Where I think
Yeah.
PJ is like your fourth, your third or fourth on a contending team, depending on how the other guys
Yeah.
are. So like I would rather, but again, you might be able to get Washington now because the whole reason Washington was originally in trade talks was because they had to pay Bridges.
Yeah.
And so because they had to pay Bridges, they couldn't keep they didn't want to keep both of them because they were just so cap heavy. So it was like,
Yeah.
oh, let's move off of PJ Washington and kind of try to fix that. Well, now they're back in that position. But I mean,
Yeah.
Bridges kind of answered the question for them when he
Yeah.
went and did what he did. So it just kind of changed the narrative. But now he's kind of been acquitted. So it's one of those
Be-
things where it's like they got to make a decision.
Yeah, because you can't do the Spurs trade and the Charlotte trade just because of Russ is the factor. You can't get the package
I mean, you
like
could
from.
get pieces. So like
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
theoretically,
That's what you could use none. You could use none. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you could use none and Beverly to get a few pieces, and it still might work out. Like your team would be super deep
so
because you would
like
still have
theoretic, yeah.
Reeves, Walker, and all those guys. But imagine if you then did the Charlotte deal, got Bridges, but then turned around, use none and Beverly, and go get a few pieces from San Antonio. But I don't know. I don't know because Russ is not in that trade. I don't know if you really get the pieces you want out of that trade.
So I mean, theoretically speaking, you could trade like let's say you could do um let's say you could do Bridges, Hayward, Rozier
Okay.
for Russell Westbrook and one first round pick, right?
Okay. All right.
You have your second first, and you have um,
That's tough though.
Patrick
With just
Beverly.
one, that's tough.
No, I'm just saying
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
hypothetically.
yeah. No, I got you. I got you.
It's
Yeah,
not if you're going to get Bridges, you're going to have to give up both first. But
yeah, yeah.
let's say theoretically they did that, or let's say you did. Let's say you could do it for PJ Washington and only one
Okay.
first, so you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
get PJ Hayward Rozier.
Rozier,
Then
yeah.
theoretically speaking, again, you could take your other first and Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn and trade them for Josh Richardson and Jakob Poeltl. So you could
Okay.
theoretically flip Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, and Kendrick Nunn
And you two
for
first,
for
or
yeah for
yeah.
and your two first for Josh Richardson, Jakob Poeltl, um, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and PJ Washington. So you
That's a
basically
good
turn
team right there. And
that
we're
is
back
a
in the
fantastic team.
conversation.
That team,
Yeah.
those guys
On
alone,
paper though.
those
Like
guys, those
play
guys
styles
alone.
meshing, I don't know, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, chemistry and everything is always important. But those guys alone with LeBron James and Anthony Davis are probably good enough to win a championship.
Yeah.
But you'd still have Walker, you'd still have Reeves, you'd still have
I know
Thomas
that.
Bryant.
Oh my god, that bench would be. Oh, that
It'd
would
be
be fun to
insane.
watch. Imagine
I
like
mean,
Reeves coming off the bench with like Walker and
oh
like
yeah.
all those
Oh,
guys.
and
Yeah,
you still have like Schroeder. I mean, theoretically, again, it's theoretically speaking.
yeah.
Will it happen? No, probably not.
No.
I mean, I never like to say, definitely nothing, but you never know. But real quick, let's answer some chat questions, and then we'll move on to our next little topic here. Biggest Lakers hater on the internet? Who, Blucka or us? Master of
Yeah,
the
I
middle,
don't know.
bigger Bluck. Oh my god.
I
The
can't.
How come it's always Cash Money that uses my name and it's a Weezy trade? You must have been here
Wait,
early and
what?
bored. I think he was here early and bored. What's up, Boston? I appreciate you. What's going on, Snorlax? What's going on?
What's
How are you? How we
up?
doing? I'm good. What about you, Jake? You good?
I am good. Snorlax. Quick question: is that your favorite Pokemon? I'm assuming, but I just want to know.
It better be. Oh, it worked. Bill
Oh.
Burr. I'm not saying it's going to hit women, but there are plenty of reasons to do it. Yeah, Bill Burr.
Whoa.
I hope Miles Bridges never plays another game. It's only a matter of time until he comes back, unfortunately. Yeah, that's it. He's going to come back sooner or later. Like I said in the video I posted earlier, like you got to be able to separate, especially from an organizational standpoint. You got to be able to separate the art from the artist. Like
Especially in this case when it's proven in a in an actual court that what I'm saying. If you got acquitted, then it's
yeah. I mean,
there's
paid
only
a
so
bunch
much
of money to
say.
me. He
Well, no,
pleaded
yeah,
no
I was about to,
contest. He wasn't. He
yeah.
wasn't found not guilty. No contest just means you basically are guilty without having to admit your guilt.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, you
Yeah,
look
but
at, yeah.
yeah. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, he is going to come back sooner or later, and he's got. I mean, he's a good basketball player. It's true. They have. I mean, athletes get away with more than probably anybody. I mean, think of all the athletes
Look at
that have
OJ.
done some heinous. Yeah, think of all the
Yeah,
athletes that have done some heinous stuff. Do you think OJ did it?
absolutely.
Of course. Yeah. they stopped. They stopped making it look so flashy. Yeah. What are the Lakers hoping to look like after LeBron leaves retire? I don't know. Right now, it's
That's a very good question.
terrible.
If we don't get the right pieces together,
They're
we're
planning
gonna be
on us
looking.
looking terrible. That's what
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
we're gonna be looking like I can't even say the Kings because the Kings aren't that bad this
Yeah,
year.
the Kings are actually good. They turned it around.
That's
Let's
normally
go.
a team that I would say like, yeah, I don't know.
Free Kyrie, free Jay Crowder, free Miles Bridges. There have been like 15 reports that the Suns are close to trading Jay Crowder, and like I haven't heard anything since in like 2 days. Like 2 days ago, they were like there was like 5 reports that were like Suns are like minutes away from trading Jay Crowder, and that like clearly went to shit. Melo would probably fit nice next to Kyrie on the Nets. Yeah, I could see that. I think so too. I mean, you can make an argument his impact. He's already there, but like talent wise, he's still got a little ways to go.
Yeah,
Lonzo's
Melo,
pretty good. Lonzo is pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah, Melo's nice.
He is. Charlotte didn't want to contend this year, and Melo health below that. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where they're at. Yeah, they might as well just embrace the tank. Does Jake from State Farm represent a different university each episode? I know you always got like a different university hoodie.
It's not a paid promotion, guys. I promise you. It's my school. I went here for like a little bit, like a year.
No. GSW could have chose Melo, but instead picked Wiseman. Yeah, I mean it's more of a need. They needed a center. They didn't really need another guard. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Facts. We're looking at 365 Sports of Kyrie trade coming. Just look at reports got him. That's right. Right. It's coming. It's coming. But yeah, no. So shifting to the game, because that's about to start. We need this win. This is a must win. Like we have our next seven. Our next 7 games, we got to win at least 5 out of those 7, because in December it gets tough. And
yeah, we're right back to the beginning of the season all over again. Actually, matter of fact, worse.
So here, I got a good point of conversation, because I've seen a lot of people talk about this stuff in like the comment section and stuff.
Yeah.
Is so it can kind of go. You could kind of make the argument either way, but so let's say in the next 7 games. Let's say the Lakers go like 3-4, and the season just looks abysmal, and it's like you can make an argument the Lakers should not do a trade. Season's pretty much over. What trade are you going to get? You're now, you're 6-14.
Yeah,
you're pretty much done, right? So now you can make an argument if the Lakers win, like let's say they win, let's say they go 7-0 over this 7-game stretch. Right. Yeah. And now they're 10-10 and they're at 500. You can make an argument that the Lakers won't do anything, because it's like, oh, we're good, but in reality, it's like you played the Spurs 3 times. You played Detroit. You played all these like really bad teams, the Pacers. You played all these teams that are like middle of the pack or tanking. Like that's not a good sample size. So do you think, from a pure trade standpoint, do you think that it would make more sense for the Lakers? I'm not saying that they should purposely, but I'm saying for the front office, do you think it's more likely the Lakers do a trade if the Lakers go 7-0, or do you think it's more likely the Lakers do a trade if they go, say, like 3-4 over the 7-game stretch?
3-4. Because I don't think they're willing to let their season just fall to the hinges. If you go 7-0, like here are the benefits. If you go 7-0, yeah, you're winning against easy teams, but you still got the W on the board. So it's like once you get to the harder teams, you're still going to use that inertia, that momentum to say like, hey, we have wins. If we won against this team, we can win against the Warriors, right? So it's like at the same time, I get it. Easy team, easy schedule. But at the same time, it's just like a DNA. When you win a fight, you're like, hey, you know what I mean? I got a little bit more confidence. I can take these wins. Let me go, like I can win the next fight or whatever. But I just think that like you we'll be fine. If we go 7-0, don't make a single trade. Don't do nothing. Like focus on your weak points, focus on where we need to improve, and just adjust that because that's what's going to help us later on in the season. I don't think we need to because if we go 7-0, we make a trade, all of a sudden there's a new piece. Then we get a new piece. If they don't fit in just right, you know what I mean? Like look what's happening to the Warriors right now, which they didn't really make any like crazy trades, but just look what happened. My opinion, one punch in practice have did to their whole team. You know what I mean? That's speculation. We don't know. They could just be in a slump, but like I
It's been
think
a long
team
slump.
chemistry. Well, yeah, I know exactly right, exactly. So like me personally, my opinion, I think it was that punch. But so
I think that was part of
yeah,
it.
no, I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm not saying that's completely it, but my point is that like keep the winning streak going. And honestly, like you go 7-0. At that point, why do you need to shake anything up? Like my motto is like if it's not broke, don't
Don't fix
fix it. Fix what you guys need to fix. Get ready for the big teams. But you go 3-4, yeah. Please make a trade. And I know what you're saying. Why make a trade when you go 3-4? Because at this point your season's over. Just let it ride out. But you need to make a trade because let's say Kyrie does come next year, we're gonna want pieces around Kyrie. We don't. Well, yeah. Obviously, LeBron has a few more years. We'll probably still have AD. So like, let's try to make another championship run before LeBron gets out of here, before LeBron retires, which is probably going to in the span of the next like 5 years. And we know LeBron's not leaving LA, probably not, more than likely not. So, no, that's what I think. I think, yeah, if we go 7-0, don't make a trade, not at all. Keep it, keep the team.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting. The stretch is gonna be something really worth
Would
keeping
you
an eye
make
on.
a trade?
It's
Was
gonna tell
seven
us
and
all.
zero? Would you make a trade?
I would
You
because
would. What?
yes, because
I'm very interested.
so you go like let's say you go 7-0, you're 10-10. Your
Okay.
season is back in. You're there and you're in a
Okay.
real position to win. So
Okay.
that would be the point to where it's like, okay, like obviously than we're better than the bad teams, but how much better are we than the good teams, right?
Okay.
And and I don't think you just make a trade just to make a trade, but I think depending on how it shapes it, like let's say we go 7-0, Thomas Thomas Bryant is like a 15-9 guy. Dennis Schroeder is like a 15-5-5 guy.
Okay. You
Well,
got 30
now,
points right there.
yeah, well now you don't need Miles Turner. You just don't. Like, why would you go get Miles Turner when Thomas Bryant is giving you this probably the same stats that Miles Turner would be giving you? Yeah, you don't get the
Yeah.
shot blocking, but you have Anthony Davis, right? And Anthony Davis,
Now, is this a shooter starting? Like,
I mean, either way, whether he starts or comes off the bench,
okay,
like let's
okay.
just say he
Either
gives
way,
us 15, 15,
just
15, 5, 5.
contributing.
Right, he's
Okay.
just contributing to that. Well, now Beverly Nunn and Westbrook are replaceable, especially if unless unless that stretch is part of everybody waking up. Like let's say during that stretch, Bev gets back to shooting like 38% from three, playing
Yeah.
lockdown defense. Let's say Kendrick Nunn is balling out and he's getting you 15 a game, right? And it's like, okay, in that case, maybe you wait and see a little bit. At least give it
Yeah.
some time. Give it a couple more games and extend and see like was this just a nice stretch or is Kendrick Nunn back? Is Patrick Beverly back? Because if they are, then that's a huge impact. I think it just depends on
Yeah.
how did you win those games. But if Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn are still bad, right? And let's say Russ is still, he's still solid and all that stuff, I would do a trade because it's like, okay, like we have two unproductive players.
Yeah.
And not only do we have two unproductive players, but we have a guy in Russ that could get us 2, 3, 4 guys that could come in and really make an impact. So I think it comes down to how did we win those games? If
That's
again
fair. That's
if
fair.
everybody's playing good,
Yeah.
then yeah, maybe give it a couple. Let's play a couple of the games in the tough stretch, right?
Yeah.
Because after these 7 games, we got a really tough stretch. So like
Yeah.
if we end up going like 1-4 in that next stretch, okay, time to do a deal. Let's make a trade. But let's say the next set of 4 games, like
Yeah.
we go 3-1, or we win 3 out of those 4. It's like so now we're 13 and 11. It's like, all right, maybe now you can extend it a little farther, a little farther, a little farther. And then, at the trade deadline, kind of make your evaluation. Like, okay, are we good enough? Because if, like, say by the trade deadline, you're, whatever, let's say you're 30 and 15, something like that, and you're like a 5 seed, like you were able to get to a 5 seed after being 3 and 10. Maybe you don't make a trade, or maybe you just make a very minimal, small trade to just go add a piece. You know what I mean? Something like that. But I think
I
it
do
just
feel you,
depends.
because if like LeBron and AD like both have to score like dang near 50 points each game, and that's
Yeah,
stretch of those 7 games they won. Yeah, I agree, because it's really just them literally playing at their fullest, whatever, just to get us across a 7 game easy stretch. So in that case, I do agree.
yeah,
I guess I wasn't thinking about the way that we could win these games, and agreed.
yeah.
But like you said, to your point, that impact would be crazy though. So we got like Nunn starts playing good. Beverly starts playing good. Then we got Schroeder.
That's what
We
I'm
got
saying.
Schroeder.
Like,
But
if
it's
they, if
like,
they start playing good, then you gotta kind of wait and see. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because, like I said, if like, let's
it's
say
like we just
Kendrick
got four
Nunn,
players. It's like we just got 4 players that
yeah,
are just
yeah,
going to
you
contribute.
basically
Like you got
basically you just
15. Like if Bev can put out 15, like if all 4 of them can put out 15, so Bryant, Schroeder, like Nunn, and Beverly. It's like my math is so off. Like 60 points. Sorry,
60 points. Yeah,
60 points.
close.
Yeah, so like you just added 60 points to your team right there. But if they can put that on a consistent basis, so then you got to figure out that.
No way we should lose today. I agree. This should be a W.
Agreed.
Would be crazy if Lakers didn't get Kyrie at this point. Just funny seeing a new trade each day. Yeah, I think I mean, look, I wouldn't be shocked if they don't get Kyrie, but um, I just think, how long are the Nets gonna, like, what's gonna be the next issue that the Nets decide to keep him around for? Like I said, if they don't like get rid of Kyrie, then they deserve everything that comes from him. I mean, you're almost better off like doing. Oh, and one, let's go. You're better off doing a deal that like Russ, like they're almost better off going to the Hornets and saying, hey, we'll trade you Kyrie for like Terry Rozier and like Kelly Oubre or something, just to get something, and then let the Hornets buy out, or waive Kyrie Irving. Same thing
But
that,
are they gonna do that though? Would the
yeah,
Hornets
of
waive
course.
Kyrie, knowing that you got? I don't know.
Of course they would,
Knowing that
because
you got ball on your team, because I don't know.
yeah, because they're trying to tank. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
they're like,
yeah, but
you're trying to get Victor Wembanyama. You're not trying to keep Kyrie. Kyrie doesn't fit your timeline. Like Victor Wembanyama does, because you're a young rebuilding team. So yeah, they would waive him. Like, they're almost better off going
would
that
you
route.
even think twice about that though?
What if you're the Hornets?
No, yeah. If you're the Hornets, you just got Kyrie on your team. We got
No, you
PJ,
trade him
got
immediately.
ball.
No, you trade him immediately. Like, or
Okay.
not trade him, but waive him immediately.
I would at
No
least
question.
think twice about that, just because that's a good little. But then again, we thought the Nets looked really good on paper too. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
Oh, sorry, I didn't even read this. Do the Lakers try to keep Russ if he accepts a huge pay cut comes off the bat? If they don't trade him, yes, I would. like, like if, like, let's say we stick the team that we have, and Russ is willing to stay in LA and play the 6-man role, and
now we're
Russ,
talking next year. We're
no,
talking. Sorry. We're talking
yeah,
just
yeah,
this
he's
season.
talking about next year, like if
Okay,
when he's
yeah,
a free agent, yeah.
yeah.
So, like, if that was the case, like if Russ would take, like, 16 million a year or something, like basically 6-man money, 13 to 16 million. If he would take something like that, I would absolutely keep him. Now, would the Lakers do it? I don't know. But I would. He's been good. He's been good off the bench, especially if he's willing
Yeah.
to accept it and embrace it. I don't think he will. I think he'll try to go get a starting job first, because I mean, especially like if he's looking at it like, these guys will give me 16 million to come off the bench, but say the Wizards will give me 13 million to start. You might as well take the
You know,
13 million.
what's crazy? If you're Russ, you'd have to be thinking in your mind like, okay, so like the Lakers made me their 6-man. Like, what if I become a free agent next year and all these teams start offering like me 6-man roles? Like, you know how frustrated that would be. Like, if
I
I'm
mean,
Russ, I'm like, I mean, you can look at it one or two
at
ways,
least you have
but
a
it's like,
job. No, I mean, I'm
well,
sure.
no,
I'm sure it's
no,
frustrating.
of course. Of course,
Look
of
at
course.
look at Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson probably had another like 3 to 5 years and got ran out the league because he didn't want to accept a lesser role. All he had to do was accept a lesser role. Look at Melo. Melo didn't want to accept a lesser role. He was out the league, and you know that's all. That's all stuff that's
I
important.
do have a question. Speaking of lesser role, just really quick, if the Nets decide to bring Kyrie back, which I think they are at this point, if they decide to bring him off the bench because there's talks, do you think he's going to accept that role like Rustin, or do you think he's going to give pushback,
He
and then
will
the
because he
Nets are
has to.
then the Nets are actually really going to want to just say, hey, you know what? Thank you. It was nice. Shake hands and let's just go our separate ways because.
He will because he has to. He has no choice. He's got to.
So you're saying he has no choice, but he needs to, like they say, hey, we need you to come off the bench. He has to just abide.
He's got at least for a little bit. He's got to show face because the problem is like let's say they did that to him, and he's
Why
like,
bring
I don't,
Kyrie off the bench?
I don't
No,
want to
man.
do that. Buy me out. Like that. Just now you got like Kyrie's in a mess all over again. Like Kyrie's got to play nice for at least a couple. Like he's gonna play at least a handful or so games for the Nets. Because as soon as the Players Association stepped in, like that's it. You have to.
Yeah. At least if you're Brooklyn, you could look at it. Well, so you can make the argument that we play better when he's not on the floor statistically, and you have numbers to prove that. So you could say, hey, we need you to come off the bench. And that way it doesn't look like, hey, because of the headache that you caused our organization, take the bench role. You know what I mean? Like,
I
so
think
because that's how the media is gonna spin it. That's how everybody's gonna
If they bring him off the bench, what that tells me is that they really want him gone. That they're trying to force him to want out. Because right now Brooklyn does
he's
it.
too headstrong to come off the bench, and I don't think it's gonna happen. But
I just think that they don't want to be the bad guy. So I think if they were to bring him off the bench, and their hope would be that Kyrie goes and says like, I don't want to come off the bench. You need to buy me out. So that way they could say like, oh, see, hey, this came to an agreement. It wasn't us. Kyrie wanted out. We just thought it was best for the organization. That whole yada 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 nonsense.
Yeah, that whole mutual feeling type. I think. Yeah,
that's what I think it is. You know what I realized? There's no LeBron.
I noticed that too, and I was gonna comment on that.
Yeah, Bron was sitting on the bench earlier.
Let's go, Reeves with the 3.
The case could be made if we win 7 in a row. Might as well go for the trade and go all in. That's kind of like I said. I think it depends on how you want it, but yes, I do agree that Reeves has really stepped up. He's so good. Pacers deal, yeah. Lakers should trade for Mo Bamba over Miles Turner. I think if you're going to trade for a center, because problem is they're probably both going to cost the same price. I think you got to get Miles Turner. He helps more now. Mo Bamba might be the better player one day in the future, but I just think like he doesn't help the way that Turner would now. And if they're both the same price, you got to go get Turner. You just got to. What about you?
Reeves is a hooping tonight. But yeah, no, I agree. I would take Turner over Mo Bamba for much for the same reasons. Again, I'm really not sold on Turner. Do I think he could help? Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be that incremental.
I just don't think we need a center. Like I just don't think I don't think a center solves our problems.
No, but but I get. See, the thing is, why it would help. I feel like we've already fixed the problem of the rebounding. We've kind of shown that we have. It seems like we've improved our rebounding numbers, and that's what a center would help out with. Our defense is still, decent. So I mean, it would improve, but depend on what center you do get.
Come on, Ben. But yeah, crazy that Simmons is starting to shoot the ball. Imagine if he averaged like 10 shots a game. I mean, if he's making, imagine if imagine if he became like an efficient shooter. And what if what if he just woke up one day and just started shooting like 40% from the field? Like,
right.
Like that's below average. Like average is like 43% or whatever. But like for him, that'd be great. Like imagine if he's like 40% from mid range and all that stuff. Like that'd be insane. Insane. But anyway,
by the way, did you see that Sorry, really quick. Did you see that
Oh,
Euro step from Pat Bev? That was kind of
yeah,
when he dished it off to Austin Reeves for the three. That was kind of clean.
he's nice. Oh, Russ is in. When he Russ did
I'm a,
good.
I'm a real big
But
fan of Euro steps. I love Euro steps. It's like,
don't.
oh.
But yeah, any last little parting words before we skate on out of here?
No, I'm excited for this next 7 game streak. I want to know what's going on with LeBron though. I'm gonna do. I want to find out. He
They
could
probably
just
just
be.
rested him because this is a game that they could win without him.
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh,
could you imagine if they go 7 straight without LeBron? What?
that'd be amazing.
Like
That'd be amazing.
that would be
Trade
amazing.
LeBron. No, I'm just joking.
Nah. Then you add
I'm just
LeBron to that team. It's like, dang, now we're back in the
that's
conversation.
what the word that's what everyone's gonna say though. Like I'm just joking
You
because one, you
think so?
can't. Oh, absolutely. Like if we won 7 straight without LeBron, all you'd see your comments of like trade LeBron, time to go, time to trade LeBron. Like that's exactly what it go. One, you can't trade LeBron this year. Two, that is exactly what the conversation would be.
He's just at that stage in his career. Everybody hit it. MJ hit it. Kobe hit it. Magic hit it. Bird hit it. Like he's at that stage. You know what I mean? It's like that weird where it's like, you know what I mean? He's not contributing as much, but it's not because he's not great anymore. It's just it could be a multitude of things. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
just getting up
Yeah.
there. But anyway, yeah. So anybody that's here, thank you so much again. Really appreciate that. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Anybody that's watching this on replay, if you made it to this point, same thing. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're really growing this channel, which is nice. Also, I will be doing the post game live stream as always after the game. So make sure to check that out on As It Stands Lakers. And we appreciate all of you and all your beautiful